Welcome to Slow and Steady, the podcast where you get to follow along as we build products in public. Each week we'll give you an honest peek into our lives as we share our struggles, our wins, and everything in between. I'm Benedikt, and I'm once again feeling super busy.
And I'm Benedicte. Today is November 14th. This is episode number 192, and I am feeling strong.
Ooh, that's something. Why did you start lifting? What's going on there?
I mean, I've been exercising semi-regularly since February, and it's finally starting to show. Or not show. I wouldn't say it's showing. that's the wrong. But I can feel it. Like I had to run to the bus the other day with Lillian and her friend, and it was like I was like, oh, I can do this. It's cool. Not. Nothing is, nothing is in pain. Well, things are in pain because I am now exercising, and you get sore. But you can run, and you're not like, okay, I'm gonna be laying on the couch for the next week because I threw out my back or anything like that, And then I also do the ballet, and I went to ballet yesterday, and I could also there feel like I could do. Let's not videotape it yet, but I halfway managed to do a grand plie without my ass sticking out. So pretty proud.
That's
feeling
nice.
Strong. Yes. But when this kind of newfound strongness is going to give me energy, that's what I'm wondering. Everybody who exercises it gives you energy. Still not really. I get very I feel stronger, but also I feel exhausted the day after exercise.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't know anything about that.
You wouldn't know anything about that. Okay.
No, unfortunately not. My exercise routine is kind of dwindled again. Unfortunately.
But the thing is, you have to just keep on going. That's what I've learned this year is that I don't do it for a week or a week and a half, but then I just, instead of making it a big deal, I kind of just keep on going from where I left off. While before I was like, oh, this didn't work. Let me make a new routine, or let me make some changes, or something like that. I just kind of just pick the next little task off the Kanban board and just do it, no matter how long a break I've had. Right. And it's really, and that approach is working for me. It's literally a Kanban board of exercises.
Cool. Yeah, maybe I should try that. I used an app for a while. And it would suggest stuff I should do, but some of that stuff is so ridiculously shitty. I don't want to do it.
And I also feel with the apps, it's and then they track you, and then they're like, "Oh, you broke your streak." I'm like, "Well, that's very motivating. Thank you very much." And I read almost every day, and I had to go into the Kindle on my phone, and suddenly it had lots of these extrinsic measurements, and I could notice. I was like, but what about my streak? Because suddenly I hadn't read one day and I lost my streak. I didn't even know I had a streak on Kindle.
and why would you need one? Right?
I don't know, but I've never felt bad for not reading or reading. It's just I read a lot, and that's just what I do. But suddenly when it was giving me statistics and showing me my broken streaks, I felt bad, even though I haven't really tried to keep up a streak. I read at night to relax, and if I don't, I don't. But so I'm very happy this is not on my Kindle because it's so old. So I'm just gonna stay off the Kindle app. And
makes sense. Yeah, I have not noticed that this is a thing now, but everything is gamified, right? Everything has to have achievements and streaks and stats and scoreboards and everything.
It's very stressful. I mean, reading is such a just a very relaxing activity, and it's I don't know. It shouldn't be gamified.
Yeah,
I know they do that in schools and stuff already, and I feel like they're taking a lot of that. We've talked about this before. I need extrinsic motivation. I need to promise somebody I will do something, but all of these streaks and badges and all of that, that's just that doesn't work for me. I just get annoyed, and then I get mad, and then I want to throw my phone in the wall because it's telling me I'm not doing good enough. And that was a different topic, but tech people out there, think about your gamification. It's not always good.
It's not always the way to go, I guess. Yeah, I totally agree.
But there's this guy in Mega Maker, the community that I think we're both part of, and he's created, is it called Polar Habits? Where he has taken, instead of having a streak that gets broken, it's like an upward graph. So it just flattens. So when you don't do your habit for a couple of days, it kind of flattens, the graph flattens. But then when you start doing it again, the graph starts climbing again. So he was trying to remove that kind of, oh, you've broken the streak, which for some people is very motivating. They never want to break the streak. But if you do break it, it's very unmotivating because suddenly you lost all your progress. Like even and exercise is not like that. If you don't do it for a week and you start again, it's not like all is lost. So I think his idea was that you visualize it differently, where it's like, oh, it's flattened. Obviously, you didn't get stronger or didn't get better at whatever your habit was. But as soon as you start doing it again, your graph starts going up instead of there being like this, oh, let's start at 0.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keeping up my drums habit, or sort of. Not every day, but almost every day. That's kind of nice.
Okay, that rant over on the gamification.
Good. Nice.
Good. So why are you so busy? Are you working busy? Are you personally busy?
I am working busy. I mean, same as the last 2, 3, or 4 episodes. We're still in crunch mode on the workflow builder. We rolled it out to a couple of beta customers. Amazingly, I feel like 15, 16 people or so reached out to us and wanted access, and we enabled it for all of them. And we asked them to send in the video after like their first time using it, and only 2 of them did so far, but those 2 videos were very helpful because you could really see like them looking at it for the first time and then figuring it out as they go. And while it didn't immediately figure out everything correctly, you could like see that after a minute or so they understood what was going on. Like even though it's not like super smooth, like I consider 2 minutes a pretty good time to get the concepts down. And then I think once after that, like once they finished that, they were able to use it as we intended it to. It also showed a bug that we didn't know existed until someone else was using it, because as usual,
you had bugs.
Yeah, there was a bug in there. We had an if-else condition with 4 branches.
So you mean AI?
Sort of, yes. It was true, false, and then nothing. And that didn't make any sense. But yeah, like I guess we wouldn't have found that if it weren't for a customer doing a particular order of operations that would cost us. And we were able to fix it. But yeah, again, was just helpful to ask for the videos. I'm hoping we're getting a few more, but even if not, it's already good. Yeah.
We actually did the same for Outsera, where Jeff hijacked the sign up button, and then it was a screen that said, oh, we'll give you a free month or a free something if you record a video while signing up.
Mm-hmm.
And we also found a bug. Yeah. We found a bug, and then also some onboarding things that will be fixed. But I thought, like, because a lot of the time you think you have to like have like a very good process, and at least I like overdo these things where it's like, oh, I need to like read the book on how to do customer interviews, and then I have to do this and that, and it has to like be perfect. But Jeff was like let's just ask them to record themselves, and it's not like a perfect process, but some did, and that was we got a lot of information from that. And then if we wanted to dig into that, I guess it would be good to do more like proper kind of like interviews, but this was a very low or very easy way to get a lot of feedback. And I think now folks kind of know how to record their screens. I think before that would have been quite a big ask for a lot of people. You would have to actually set up kind of like test environments and have people physically come in sometimes to test things. But these days people know kind of how to record their screen and
right,
you know,
yeah.
it's like a video call and they just kind of do it. So it's not as big an ask as it might have been, even just 5 years ago.
True.
So,
People are more used to doing this. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a tip for people there that's the lowest hanging fruit version. What would we call it? Like of doing that type of research is just asking people to use it and record themselves, and then you can make some informed decisions about where you go from there.
Yeah. So yeah, that part was helpful. And since then, we've been just like adding new stuff, like new features to the workflow builder. And I gotta say, the velocity is pretty crazy. Like we are able to ship stuff super fast. And I guess it's because it's such like the entire concept of the workflows is very modularized, and there's pretty strict interfaces. So, and there's not a lot of interconnectivity sort of with different systems, because like every node in that workflow graph just has an input and an output, more or less. And then what happens in between does not matter at all. And we were able to churn out 3 new node types within a week, basically. We added an exit node type where you can like stop the workflow. I tried doing this. I was like, how hard can this be? It took less than an hour, like everything included, backends, front end, graph rendering, everything within an hour. We added a new.
So you see the benefits of spending some time to get it right.
Yes, I guess. Yeah. We added
because you've been not complaining, but you've been saying like, oh, this took longer than I thought. This took longer than I, because it's been that's kind of been the refrain the last episodes. But now on the other side of that, it seems like, yes, you're getting the benefits of taking that time.
Yeah, at least on some parts, yes. Yeah, it's true. Like a lot of stuff we're doing in Userlist so far has always been like, a lot of dependencies on other stuff, and having to refactor existing stuff and things like that. But for a change, this one is not one of them. So we added the exit node. We added a split testing node where you can randomly branch out into up to 5 branches, I think. That had some challenges in there that we didn't anticipate earlier, but like it was still done within a week. And basically this week we're adding a notification type of thing where you can send yourself an email when something happens. And there's some open questions, but like the basic version is done. Like, and what's crazy about this is just Leo doing it himself, like both front end and back end. He basically built the thing last night. So that's super encouraging, that we can just easily add new stuff. And even for Leo, who's not super familiar with the backend side of things, he's able to add new stuff, and it just works. And that's pretty great. So I'm pumped.
You should also be proud.
I'm also proud. Like yes.
Good the architecture you've created there.
I don't want to toot my horn too much, but
yes,
I'm pretty amazed what we were able to build with just a team of 2 developers and 1 designer. It's pretty cool for a small team, I guess.
I'm super impressed.
Thank you. But yeah, that's about it. Like, there's not much else happening. We're just like, again, churning on this and planning to ship it early December.
Ooh, cool.
What have you been working on?
Well, the same thing as you. Same things I've been working on all fall. It feels like.
Are you making progress? How did your first stream go for MixPod?
Oh, that was a lot of fun. So we're back to streaming, which I guess is new. And we're having our second stream this Saturday, and it was just so much fun. Like we've missed it. And it was a very good decision to put it to Saturday morning. Just everybody in the family was a little bit more awake. And well, I guess I was less enthusiastic at night, which is fine. But everybody kind of, we were all awake and none of us were overtired and didn't kind of ruin or mess up our whole evening and like, sleep schedules and all of that. So that was great. And then we also had AK, which streamed with us back in, the plague times. And she saw that we were going to start again. And she was like, oh, could I, can I participate in some way? And she's really great to have on stream as well. So AK joined. And she's really good with the chat and writing down some notes about what happened during the stream and those kinds of things. So that has been great because we got some help to create clips. So you might all hate me by the end of this week if you follow me on social media, because there will be a clip every day from this stream, and that will probably continue in the foreseeable future. So let me know if there's too many clips. I might not listen, but let me know anyway.
There's no such thing as too many clips. No.
I mean, there can never be too many clips. So that has been a lot of fun and like given me some energy, I feel. And I feel like because I do love streaming, but then too much streaming is tiring. Like there's things can be both fun and tiring, I guess. But I feel like every other week is like a really good schedule, doing it Saturday mornings, even though we don't get Americans watching because they're asleep. It still works better for us. And we got some, Europeans watching, and we had a good chat, which is, so like there's some people in the chat chatting. It just like makes the stream so much more fun. And getting these clips from it, I feel like we have a process now. Like we can actually use the streams as like this kind of content flywheel, or like it's an engine or a flywheel. Yep. I don't know what we want to call it, but it feels like we've landed on something that we can do for the long haul, and it's fun, and it will also give us better and better sponsors, we hope, moving forward. So we're working on the call for sponsors, call for sponsors, which I'm calling it. We've written up a document about what this is, and we're going to send that out to the people who have shown interest. So cross your fingers that we get more really good sponsors so we can keep doing this forever and ever. But I guess where I'm feeling scattered is the work I'm doing for Alzetta, because I only work 1 or 2 days a week, but one day is for technical support and the other day is for creating kind of more doing more DevRel work. There's been less support now, so I should have more time to do the DevRel work, but then kind of my habit is to check for support at night. And it's hard then to shift into doing something else when there isn't support. So I'm trying to create a little backlog of easier documentation tasks that I can do. So if I kind of show up for my support slot, or the time I usually set aside at night to do support, I can then do some documentation tasks. But I need to have those defined, because at night I cannot define tasks. That I realized does not work. Then I just kind of scramble around and do nothing. So I have to do that during the day. And then I've started on different demos and kind of got stuck on different parts. I'm like just feeling scattered, so I need to finish some of these. But also I realized today when I went back to the Framer integration we're creating, or Framer code component, a lot of things that I was struggling with, not like technically, but like how this should be presented to the user and how we can make it easier for the user of this code component, kind of just all fell into place today as soon as I started working. So I think that calendar time, or that kind of like break where you just let things simmer, is also good, but it's always hard to know, like, when am I not pushing through and completing this, and when is it a good simmer?
Mm-hmm.
It's And then I started on a next demo while I kind of was waiting to figure out some of this Framer things. And I was like, oh, it's going so fast. And I was like, this is, I'm going to have this done. But then I encountered one of Next's lovely undocumented /features /bugs where nobody really agree if it's a feature or a bug or what it is. Mm-hmm. And nobody could help me because the newest version is so new. So I need to dial it back a little bit and just do one of the older, more trusted ways of doing it, I guess. But there was a problem, and I'm going to keep complaining about this, but it was a problem because there was client-side navigation that took precedence over the server-side stuff, so that even though kind of I let Next know that this page needs to be re-rendered on the server, it's never re-rendered on the server because the client-side navigation has just cached the whole freaking page and never asks the server for
okay.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Yes! It does. So I was complaining. There was a whole Twitter thread. I did get some help, and I haven't really had time to look fully into it, but I hope to do that on a Friday. Spend some time on Friday as well. But now it's all about getting this framework code component all the way to completion so that I get it out there, because I need to see some completion.
Nice.
Yes. So, but I guess that's the way life is when you're a fractional developer or a fractional employee in multiple places.
Yep.
It's got its perks and its what's the opposite of perks? Downsides, I guess.
Yep.
And then, of course, because I did clear some other stuff off my plate, I decided to create a Advent calendar.
Oh, tell me more.
because I have nothing to do. I've wanted to make calendars for a long time. But anyway, the calendar will be Semantic HTML, what did I call it? A SemanticAdvent. SemanticAdvent, I think I call it. Mm-hmm. The concept is that you'll get an email every day with one semantic HTML element describing what it is and how it can be used. Because I feel like there is a lot of div usage out there, I guess. Especially in the React world, there are a lot of people who kind of learned React before they learned HTML, which is totally a valid way of doing it, but also then have very little kind of knowledge about the HTML that kind of comes out of the React code they write, and that there are HTML elements as well, not just React components. and if you use the correct ones, you get so much for free. You get SEO for free. You get accessibility for free. It's just nice to have like a little bit of overview. And I also think it's something that can be fun to get like a drip every day. I mean, it's going to be the shortest email. That's why I also decided that I can actually do this, because it's basically going to be copy pasted from the documentation, like that one line on what it is. But then I'm trying to come up with examples from my own work or for other people's work about when to use it, so that you kind of have the definition, but then we'll have like more of a personal story or personal example to showcase the element. And I gotten some people that said they want to help, so I don't have to write all of them, but I need to create the kind of template for it and then have people pick different elements that they've hopefully used in their work, so that we can get like real world examples of the element. And I just randomly picked 24 that I like, because there are like 100. So
yeah, there are plenty, right? That's cool.
So if you have a favorite semantic HTML element, I'm going to keep it secret which one is mine. Mine is actually deprecated, but it's still going to be included. But if you do have a... Well, I'm not saying. It might be. But if you have a favorite HTML element, semantic element that you feel is underused, marquee is probably not underused, then let me know and I'll make sure to include it. I might swap out one of the ones that I chose. But if you have if you have one that you feel, why don't people use this element more, and an example of how you've used it, DM me on Twitter and I'll give you credit on that day, and cool. Make sure to include it. Yeah, I think it's fun. And it's also a little inspired with my bank job, where I do work with more junior developers who are really like hungry for this kind of content in a way.
So where do people sign up?
There's still no sign up.
Oh no.
It will be out this week. And I'm like grappling, should I buy another domain? Or should I just like put it on like advent.ray.codes or like semantic.ray.codes? I'm not sure. What do you think?
I don't know.
You should say, do not buy any more domains is always the reply you should give me. And then I'll go out and buy it anyway.
Okay, well then don't buy a new domain, but buy it anyway.
Anyway, yeah. No, hopefully I'll get it launched this week and maybe even before this comes out, and there will be a link in the description.
Sounds good. Cool. Anything else?
Anything else? You want to hear about my my mom moment this week, these 2 weeks?
Sure.
So Lillian had her first concert this weekend.
Oh, what? Fill us in on the details. What is he playing? An instrument? Is he singing? Is he dancing?
She started playing the flute, and I think it's called the flute in English. It's the one that kind of go across, like you know. I don't know what it's called in English. It's in Norwegian. It's tvärflöjte, which means a cross flute.
Yes, same in German.
I'm pretty sure that's not. I'm pretty sure that's not the English name. Yeah, she started playing in August, and she just loves marching band. So she's a part of the marching band, and they had their first concert this weekend, and it was very emotional and very cute.
I just looked it up. Apparently, it's the Traverse flute or the German flute.
The German flute.
Apparently.
Ooh, apparently.
At least that's what the German to English dictionary says. I mean, it might be opinionated. Who knows?
It might be opinionated. Well, that's interesting that even because usually in English they're not that literal. So the traverse flute is exactly that, like the cross flute or whatever. It's interesting. Yeah, so I'm learning a lot, and she thinks it's so much fun that I have like no musical background. I have no marching band background. Like I know nothing about these things, and I think that's partly why she loves it so much.
So you can do something that you can't.
Yeah, and I think it's like completely her thing. It's it's not something kind of we encouraged or can like participate in other than being observers of what she knows and what she does. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, she is just super excited. This is like the funnest thing ever. So nice. We're going to get a little marching band nerd kid, I guess.
Well, it could be worse things, I guess.
Could be worse things.
So she had her first concert, marching band concert with the entire marching band?
So they played, so they are the newest ones, and they played in front of the oldest ones. So the oldest ones kind of backed them. So there's like three marching bands. It's the seniors, the juniors, and these ones who are called aspiranter. Again, I do not know the English word for these things. So they stood in front, and then the senior marching band was playing behind them. And then for a little part, they did a solo where all of them played without the seniors playing.
Nice.
So we were like, I thought they were all going to do solo. I thought that was a little early because they've been saying like, oh, and then the new ones are going to do a solo. And I thought they meant that every one of the kids would like do a solo. But no, all of the new ones played together, and that was the solo.
Not so solo.
Not so solo.
I mean, it's a nice idea that it removes a little bit of the pressure.
Yes. It seems like they have a very kind of good foundation in how they do this marching band. Like there is thought and intention behind everything they do.
That's nice.
So, yeah,
that's nice for a change.
Yes, exactly. It's and when I was at the info meeting for this marching band, after I reluctantly said yes, they reminded us that this is the only activity where different ages get to participate in the same activity. Where I was like, oh, I hadn't thought about that, but that is something I feel is missing from kind of kids today. They only usually do all activities with their own age group. While in marching band, this first year, it's like their age group, or it's everyone who started. So one has started later, so she's older. But then as soon as they're done with this foundational year, they will be in the junior band, and that's like 3 or 4 years range, and that's kind of cool.
That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, then congratulations.
Well,
is there a video?
There are videos, but they will not be publicized because there are lots of kids in the video.
It's probably already on YouTube and you don't know, right?
Well, I don't know. Lillian's school is pretty, like, the parents there are pretty, like...
pretty strict? Okay, that's good.
Yeah, they're pretty strict. Oh, but on this note, if people are still listening, on Friday, we got a free concert ticket to this marching band concert. And I was like, yes, let's go. I brought Lillian. It was a little late. And then at the end of that concert, they were like, oh, there's going to be another concert, a Frank Zappa tribute concert. And I was like, I like Frank Zappa. And Lillian was like, I want to go to more concerts. So we went over to the Frank Zappa tribute, which was all like brass instruments, like trombone and those kind of things. And we went, and it was super cool, but it was like done at 11:30 at night. So around midnight, Lillian and I was like walking through center of Oslo. And there's a different vibe in Oslo at like midnight. And we were just having so much fun and walking there and looking at like nightlife Oslo. And I haven't seen that in years. And this was obviously the first time Lillian saw it. So she just walked around with like the biggest eyes. She was like, oh my God, what are all these grown-ups like doing? Why are they acting so weird? And why is he sitting in a trash can? I was like,
oh, that's funny.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of IRL stories right there.
Cool. Yep. Well, sounds like you both had fun.
We had so much fun. And I'm seeing there's going to be lots of marching band concerts in my future. So I'll just need to learn to appreciate.
Yep.
Cool.
Well, I guess that's it for this week.
Yeah. Have a good one.
See you.
See you around the interwebs.